and looking at the cuisine of Northern and Central Europe. The preparations that I'm going to be making today is going to be a what we would call a Kasseschnitzel. It's going to what I'm going to do is butterfly a large cutlet from this center cut loin of pork, stuff it with some Emmentaler cheese, the German variety of Swiss cheese, and some crisp bacon. And then we're going to go ahead and bread it and pan fry it. That's going to be served with a very simple sauce of chicken broth, lemon, mustard, and fresh herbs. That's which is going to be thickened with something very a technique that's very Middle European. I'm going to thicken it with potato starch, and so that sauce will accompany the meat dish. And with this, we're going to make noodle dumplings known as Spätzle. So right now, what I want to do is go forward, and I'm going to cut my butterfly pork cutlet. And typically, I'm a right-handed person, but whenever I portion meat, whether I'm cutting a chop or a steak, or in this case, cutlets, I always go from my left to my right. This way, I get better alignment, a better eye leverage, if you will, and my cuts will be more even. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut about, I would say a 1/4 inch cutlet, nice long strokes. But I'm not going to go all the way. Okay, I'm just going to, in effect, butterfly it. And then I'm going to do the same thing again. Nice long strokes. Good to have a sharp knife when you're doing this. And once I've cut it through, okay, we have our butterfly pork cutlet, okay, and I have another piece right over here, okay, and I think I'm going to make a third portion. Okay, so once again, a nice long even stroke, not all the way through. And do it again, just like so. And in effect, there will be my butterfly cutlet. Alrighty, so we'll go forward, and what we're going to do, I like this one. I think I'm going to run with this one. Okay, these will put in reserve. One moment. And let me put the rest of the pork away as well. So now what we're going to do is go ahead, and I'm going to line my work surface with a bit of plastic wrap. And then what we're going to do is go ahead and just lay the butterfly pork cutlet kind of off center. And then I'm going to fold over the plastic so it covers the surface. And in absence of a meat mallet or a meat tenderizer, I have my trusty cast iron Griswold. It's pretty good, works in a pinch. Okay, let me clear the area. And we're going to flatten it. And in effect, I mean, this is a pretty already tender cut of pork, again, single cut of the pork loin. But we want to spread out the surface area. It'll be easier to put the cheese and bacon that's going to do the stuffing. It'll be easier to fold over. And overall, it'll just be a nicer presentation. Okay, I'm going to flip it over. And repeat on the other side. Okay, so that will be, okay, that's kind of what we're looking for, okay? So next thing we're going to do is go ahead. Going to just put a little bit of seasoning. I'm mindful that I'm going to put some bacon in here, so the bacon has some salt in it, so I'm not going to put all that much seasoning on the cutlet itself. So now, okay, we'll take a grated Emmentaler, and you can use other cheese. You could use Swiss cheese. A Jarlsberg will do very nicely for this. And I'm going to put filling on one side. No, not too much. I'll say maybe about 2-3 tablespoons of grated cheese, because I do want this to close. And gonna add my bacon. Okay, this is applewood smoked bacon. A lot of variations of this particular dish. Instead of using bacon, we'll use ham. And, you know, when you think about it, it's really like what we would call a cordon bleu. But this is one variant of this recipe for Kasseschnitzel. And you could use veal. I've done it with chicken cutlets as well. Okay. And so that's in there nice and securely. Just a little bit more for good luck. All right, so then what we're going to do is going ahead, we're going to fold this over like you're closing a book, like so. And then, once we've done that, we'll go ahead, kind of like what we did before. I'll push this to the left a little bit. Fold the plastic over. And then with my meat, well, you know what, I'm going to use the side of my knife. Okay, the side of my chef knife. Kind of just pat it down a bit to seal the edges. Now, remember, this is going to be subjected to the standard breading procedure. So there'll be some flour, there'll be some egg wash, there'll be some breading, and that will help seal it a little bit more. Some people go to the extreme of like inserting toothpicks, but I don't think that's totally necessary. Flatten it out a little bit. Tamp down the edges one more time. Okay, so now what we'll do, we'll go ahead, I'm just going to fold this over. And at this point, I could do one or two things. I could throw it in the freezer, okay, and even freeze it and sort of bread it in the frozen state and cook it from the frozen state. But I think I'm just going to let it firm up in the fridge. Oh, okay, the next thing, what I would like to do is to proceed, okay, and show you how we're going to put together the schnitzel dough. Actually, the Spetzel batter. Okay, so we have our flour. There's some salt and pepper and nutmeg already in the flour. Okay, we're going to make a little well in there, and we're going to add our eggs. Beat them up a little bit. Gonna add our milk. Now, the thing, I mean, with terms of liquid, there are a lot of variants with this particular recipe, and indeed, some people use water. Some people use a combination of water and milk. A lot of times we use water and something like sour cream. So there's quite a lot of different variations of the liquid for this. Other things that it's done, if you add like a puree of spinach that you've squeezed all the liquid out, a puree of spinach, the resulting product will be a green batter. You can make green Spetzel. If you have tomato product, you'll have like kind of like an orange red Spetzel. Some people will add an infusion of saffron. You get a golden Spetzel. So quite a lot of different variations. So what we're going to do, we're going to basically do a plain variation of this. But when we finish it later on, okay, we're going to saute it in butter and add some chopped herbs to it. Okay, coming along pretty well. And I want to show you the consistency of this. What we are looking at, and kind of the key that I am looking for, is that you add as much flour where, even though it still be a batter, it's almost a dough. Okay, just enough before you get to the point where you've turned it into a dough. Okay, just going to add a touch more flour. Not too much. Okay, I think. And a touch more milk. And now I could say, I believe we're there. So, let me just show you what I'm aiming for. Okay, so you can see when I lift it up, okay, quite thick, quite thick. All right, so what we're going to do is go on ahead, I'm going to cover this up. I'm going to let it rest in the refrigerator, and later on we'll show you the method how we're going to shape them and cook them. Okay, so for now, we'll see you in a bit.